3D Grapes Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hello everyone, in this video I will be showing you how I sculpted these really simple 3D grapes. There's another nail that goes with it that's a wine glass and a wine bottle, so don't forget to look at that. And also don't forget to click subscribe so you can see all my future tutorials as well. So with cover paint, I'm going to begin by making my nail bed area and smile line. So I want an extended nail bed, so I'm going to take it a little bit farther down the nail tip than I sometimes do. And I'm going to bring the smile line to a nice point. This is going to set up the branch of your grapes really well later on. And then after you've got that, you can then blend it up towards the cuticle area. And if your smile line isn't perfect, you don't have to worry about it because we are going to be adding a lot of nail art on top of it. Or you could always use a file and file it to perfect it. Either way. And now I'm going to be filling in the tip of the nail with a very, very thin layer of white acrylic. And now on top of the white, I'm going to be adding a shimmery layer. So I take a bead of clear acrylic and I dip it into a really shimmery pigment powder dust, and it creates a gorgeous effect. So now I'm going to be encasing the nail with clear acrylic. This is just to smooth everything out and protect that shimmer layer that I just added. So then we're going to be filing the nail to smooth it out and thin out the sides and all that good stuff. So I'm using a 180 grit file to begin with, and then switching over to a 240 grit padded buffer just to remove any scratches and make sure everything is perfectly smooth and easy to paint. So now with some green paint, I'm going to be painting the vine of my grapes. So I'm going to start by just basically outlining one side of my smile line, and then adding a few swirls off of it for the vine of my grapes. And then you're going to want to add one line that just sort of comes off but doesn't go very far. That's going to be the stem of your leaf. And now with a lighter shade of green, while that darker green is still damp or still wet, I'm going to blend in some highlights just to give the branch a little bit more dimension even though it's flat. So then with a gel sealer, I'm going to be painting over this and then curing it until it's 100% dry. For me, it's 2 minutes in a UV lamp. Now I'm going to be taking some purple acrylic and I'm going to be taking small beads and I'm just going to be dropping them and I'm going to be placing them. And as I'm placing them, I'm going to be feeling out where I want my bunch of grapes to be. So as you go towards the tip of your nail, you're going to want to taper the width of your grapes down. So if you do 4 at the beginning, then go down to 3, and then do a couple rows of 2, and then maybe a row or 2 of just 1 grape. And don't worry about filling everything in, and if they kind of blend together, it's not the end of the world because this is just the first layer. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to start adding a second layer, and I can fill in some weird gaps that are there, but I'm not too concerned if it doesn't look perfect because I'm going to be adding another layer of grapes. So fill in the spaces where you want to and help round out your bunch. And for the second and third layer, I took and I flipped my brush upside down after I had the bead on it, and I pulled the extra monomer out of the back just so that I had a really stiff acrylic that's not going to run into the beads next to it, so that my grapes held their shape a lot better. The first time around, I didn't care about that as much because it's just that base layer, the foundation, so to speak. But these ones on top, these are what are going to be seen at the end, so you want those to have a little more form. So then with a very super duper wet bead of black acrylic, wash over your grapes. This is going to actually give them a better color, and it's going to add more depth when we add this third layer because there's going to be multiple colors, and it's going to be a lot more pleasing to look at because it doesn't look so flat. So then add your third layer of grapes, and for me this is the last layer, but you can really take this as far as you want. But I thought it looked pretty good after this, so I'm just going to fill in any noticeable gaps now, and any areas that I think need a little bit extra dimension, I'll add a grape or 2. And then on the end of that stem that we painted before, I'm going to be adding my leaf. So I'm going to start with 1/2 of the leaf, and I'm just going to lay that down, and then I'm going to press it out with the side of my brush. And I didn't really mind if the acrylic ran back together. I didn't need those indentations, but it helped fan it out and taper the sides down nice and thin. So I'm doing the same with the other side and then creating a little bit of a ledge between the two halves of the leaf. Paint a line down the center for that main vein. Connect it to your stem, and then add just a little bit of a detail to the outside of your leaf with dark green. So I'm going to be highlighting each of my grapes with a little spot of white paint. This is going to be a highlight, and you want to do every grape that you can see and do it on the same side of all the grapes. So if you're doing it on the right side of your grape, do it on the right side of every grape. And then add a layer of matte top coat on all of the 3D. So your grapes and the leaf, pretty much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this design, and don't forget to check out the wine bottle and the wine glass that I will put a link to in the description box. I hope you like this design. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd love to see them. Bye!